I promised you I wouldn't do the so I did something different.
Okay.
All right. Evening, everybody. Hello, hello, hello. And it's back by popular demand. Dun, dun, dun.
Mm-hmm.
Why are you being like that? I'm hyping everybody up for your class, and you're like, mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. That's it.
All right, everybody. Back by popular demand. For those of you that are new to the channel, Robyn used to do essential oils classes every week. And we kind of laid off of them for a while. And Robyn was like, I want to do my essential oils class again. And I was like, yeah, you do. You going to do them.
No, you didn't.
Can I tell the story?
Mm-hmm.
Let me just tell it. It's entertaining the way I tell it.
Okay. You are entertaining.
Mm-hmm. And I was like, yeah, you going to do them classes. And she was like,
okay.
Okay, yes,
I'll
sir.
submit to you. Yeah,
I
okay.
want to stab you in the eye with this.
Tell it or embellish it. You know what's funny? I ever noticed embellish it? Embellish it. There you go. That's your word. Embellish it.
Can't even give me.
All right. So, let's do this.
Okay, this is where I have to be quiet now. And
Not yet. You can still talk for a minute.
And just make faces in the background.
No. No, no. No, no,
No, no.
No, no.
No, 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 no.
No, 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 no.
Okay, well, let me give you an introduction. And please don't knock over that expensive camera.
I'm not gonna knock over that expensive camera.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, YouTube is proud to bring to you the essential oil champion of the world, Mama Bear.
You're funny. So, how's everybody doing tonight? It's Wednesday night, hump day.
Hump day.
Yep, get through all of the holiday stuff, get it over with.
It's done. Poof.
Whew, done.
Gone.
That's it.
People are back to cutting each other off and giving each other in the finger. Going down the road and
Yep.
sticking their head out talking about, your mom.
Hello from South Carolina. Well, hello.
Hello from Georgia.
And all of our veterans, we're glad to see you. Ones that have been with us for years and years. Driving back from Los Angeles and need some essential oils. Okay.
All right, cool.
Very cool.
You driving, well, it depends on where you driving to from LA. You probably need some Wild Orange, some Clary Calm, some Jack Daniels.
Peppermint to stay awake. Hello, Suburban. How are you?
Sub. You know what I need?
What do you need?
I need a set of drawers like right here.
No, you don't.
So I can be like, whoop. I miss those days when the whiteboard was right here and Suburban would start talking smack and I could be like, really? Sook. And make it cockeyed.
Hey,
Lonely!
Lonely Prepper, what's up?
Lonely Prepper. Good. I'm not even worried about that. I got lots of wrenches in here tonight. To lay the smack down.
Yep. What are you looking at that you thought you needed to do?
Oh, for some reason, Teresa's thing got held up.
Oh, held up. I got you. Yeah, you're mean like that.
California.
Congrats on hitting 10,000. Thank you. Appreciate that. We're going to give everybody just a few seconds more to come in here. It seems like we still got a couple more people.
So, while we're waiting.
Or a stiff drink.
Got you on that one. While we're waiting. Why don't you share the story of what got us in, well, really, what got you into your essential oils that I used to call witchcraft?
So, we had a friend who we met through, I guess at the time was called hobby farming. We weren't really hobby farming. We were trying to actually do something with it, not just have it be a hobby. The goal has always been to be able to stay home if we could and produce as much as we could from the house. And we met... What are you doing?
I'm being a class clown now.
We met a lady there named Kay.
Oh, I know what I need
And Kay was into using essential oils. They were using them with their livestock and also personally. And I believe she had gotten into it meeting who was her upline. And if you know anything about multi-level marketing stuff, that's a term that I'll use every once in a while. But anyway, she had met somebody who was a massage therapist and had used oils during her massage therapy for aromatherapy and things like that. So she used them. She was talking in one of our meetings for the hobby farmers meetings. She was talking about using them for her chickens. She was using oregano oil to help with parasites.
It's oregano.
Yeah.
It's oregano.
And so she used oregano to help with parasites. And Jason and I have always wanted to do things as natural as possible. So when we heard that, it was like, well, wait, what are you talking about? And so at least I was. Jason, again, still, it was voodoo. So I started listening in on it. And so every once in a while, she was never overbearing or anything like that. She would just ask me if it was anything that I was interested in learning about. And so I would just kind of ask her a few questions, and she'd tell me a couple of things here and there, but nothing ever really big.
So you would ask her questions, and she would tell you no lies?
Mm-hmm. And, hello, Rose. And so, basically, that over a few years, there would be something that happened at one of our meetings, and she would just, how people do when they use essential oils as part of their life, they don't think about, I'll tell you a good story. I was up at Hope's Homestead at Cherish's house and didn't even think, this is where it's bad. I have to be very careful with this because I'm just so overzealous sometimes about sharing my oils. And basically what happened is she was talking about having a really bad headache, and I went over to her with Peppermint, which is what we're going to talk about tonight, and made sure not to get it real close to her eyes and put it on there and put it on the back of her neck, and she was like, oh my God, what is happening to me? And what's really funny is that she is, what's her religion?
She's a snake biter.
No, not a biter, but she's Pentecostal, I think. And so it was just funny because she's
part of the Snake Kings.
So so I come over her with oil and she's like, okay.
You get that reference, throw your hand up.
Weird. So anyway, she
if you get the Snake Kings reference,
love you too, Rose.
In the air.
So basically what happened is over the years of working with her on other projects, Kay got me to kind of open up a little bit to see.
Rose got jokes. See, I was going to tell everybody that you speaking at the Homesteaders of America conference, but now I'm not going to tell nobody that.
So you just did. So anyway, so basically
nobody listens to me.
So basically, over the years, she would douse me with a particular oil at whatever time of something that I needed, and I kind of was intrigued by it. So finally, I anointed her head with oil. It's funny to hear her tell the story because, you get her perspective of like, oh my God, what are you doing to me? Because if you don't know anything about her, her personal space is like, she is not one to be touched and hugged by just strangers. And so that was like a big deal for me to just we barely knew each other. And so anyway, back to Kay. She eventually kind of sat down and talked to me about all these different oils and how there was a packet of them that I could use for various amounts of different things, like peppermint and lemon and lavender, melaleuca, those kind of things that are normal, everyday kind of use oils. So what ended up happening is I started using them and really, really enjoyed the effects of using the oils for my own personal use.
Yes, Teresa Dean is a huge hugger.
Yes. So, like one story I was at, and this was very early on in my journey with essential oils. I worked at Arby's, and I had a 2nd-degree burn. Like, I got really, really, it was an oil, it was a grease burn, and it was bad. I had blisters, but I immediately put...
I'm upset. Nobody got the Snake King referenced.
No. Lavender and frankincense on it, and it never, it didn't scab over. It healed very quickly.
Wow.
So, so there's a lot of applications for different essential oils. That's kind of where we were when we first kind of started. I used it, and slowly over time, what would happen is I would use it on our kids. I was doing research constantly, trying to see what other things each oil would do for me. And after that, we got it. It just wasn't funny.
You know what, man? You need Jesus.
So
you need Jesus, Josh.
So anyway, so then after...
I'll explain that joke later.
After that, I started doing way more research, and instead of just using it on our kids, I started using it on Jason when he didn't know I was using it on him. So he would have these issues with with whatever was going on with his PTSD and anxiety, and I found a couple of oils that were very effective to help him kind of relax a little bit and had sedative qualities. And that is what I have found has been the best way to use oils, is to find out what the properties of each oil is, and then just kind of, try different oils to see which one of them works for the property of what you need.
Some people don't know how to let stuff go.
Oh, I mean, the oregano didn't know how to let your skin tag go either.
We have a new group. We have a new group of people that just don't need to know.
They're gonna find out about it. C. Dean says whatever's in that Warrior soap. Oh my gosh, perfect blend. Yes, it is amazing. I love that soap. So anyway, so now we're gonna talk about peppermint. I wanted to do some pretty easy ones. But like I was saying, Jason did all of his stuff. And started doing a little bit of research on his own, and he was very happy to see things starting to help him with different issues. So a question, is CBD considered an essential oil? Wonder if doTERRA is selling or planning to get into CBD. They're not going to do CBD, but they have copaiba, which has a lot of the same properties. I did a really good class on copaiba essential oil. It has a lot of the same effects as CBD oil without I guess it's hard to explain, but copaiba is a very effective oil without having to worry about the THC and all the other stuff that can come with certain forms of CBD oil. But you definitely, if you're interested in that kind of stuff, definitely check out the copaiba. If any of my mods can find that video and put that link up, that would be pretty helpful. I think Jennifer would benefit from seeing that, and just save it and watch it later. It's very extensive coverage of what exactly copaiba does and how effective it can be. So that's, and you can see there's people in the chat telling you copaiba is very effective in some of the properties that it carries. So
I'm scared to ask Dee what book she's reading.
Probably The Egg and I'm betting.
Because I haven't gotten my copy of it.
I know, we're waiting to go to the library on Saturday to see if we can find it. I think I need to go and call down there and see if they've got it, and if not, see if they can get it to us by Saturday. Which we're already on Wednesday, so.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, let's talk about peppermint. Yep, there it is, the egg and I. So, what my classes, when I first started my classes, I started doing them a little over 2 years ago.
Josh wants. Are you asking about Copaiba, Josh? It probably would.
But for what things?
His issues.
Yeah, that's... Okay, I'll tell you my big thing to try and think about before we get into Peppermint. A lot of people come to me and ask me about pain issues and this, that, and the other issues. One thing I always tell people, a lot of people that I deal with anxiety, or they deal with stress, or they deal with sleeplessness, things like that. Any oil, in my opinion, and in my experience, any of the oils that smell like dirt or smell like earth, all of those oils tend to be grounding and calming oils. Cedarwood, Copaiba, any cypress. Love you, Tim. So any of those kind of oils are very good for those kind of issues. So that's see, now I have 2 class clowns in here. I love it.
I love Tim.
I love Tim Beverly. He's awesome. Look at this guy rolling in. Rolling in early this time instead of the last 5 minutes of class. So, all right. So let's get started talking about peppermint oil.
Okay.
Oh, wait. I'm sorry. I was getting... we got a little distracted. So one of the things I was going to say is normally my classes have just a very small little bit of structure. And the reason I do it this way is that if you ever want to go back and do the playback on it to look at it, basically the structure that I do is I normally talk about, very first and foremost, I usually talk about if there's any precautions, contraindications, things like that, that are an issue, because I want people to know that straight up front. And I talk about, how you apply it, how you use it, what it is, where it comes from, history, and then we talk about properties and uses. So if you're ever looking at playback, you'll know that there's kind of a little bit of a structure that you can kind of fast forward through something, or, go back to something if you want to look at. But usually very first thing I do is contraindications, things like that. So,
all right, so the first things first.
With all of that being said, let's do... So anything... Jason made a comment the other night.
I made a promise.
That anything that has an essential oil supplemental facts on it, that means that it can be ingested. And so Jason is going to ingest...
Just give me here.
Peppermint oil, 1 drop. For real, 1 drop. And the reason why I'm saying for real, 1 drop. That's it. That's why. Yeah.
That's a little bit tingly.
Yes. So take a big gulp of tea. I would rather you dilute it a little bit.
I can't wait till we get the spearmint.
So the reason why is because...
That'll be payback for patchouli.
That oil is so strong that it could actually mess with, if you take it completely undiluted, it can actually mess with, if you have any kind of GERD issues, which is what Jason has, it can actually make it worse. So that's why I kind of wanted him to immediately start flushing it with something else. Because I don't want you to take a whole bunch and it to act, big word, exacerbate your issue that you have. So, it's because I love you.
It's a big one, Ethel! It's a big one!
Okay, so let's talk about contraindications. What happened to saying no? That's
I know,
for
right?
Andy.
That's why I said that in the video. I was like, I should have took a big chunk of...
Okay, so very first things first. Let's talk about contraindications and issues. And lazy acres, we'll get to that in just a moment. Contraindications and cautions. First things first. Jason, put up your little...
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
very first thing.
This one?
Yes. If you are pregnant, do not, I repeat, do not use peppermint oil. And
that would be you, Tim.
And the reason for that is because peppermint oil has been known to, and it has been used to induce menses, which is a woman's cycle. So it would make sense that if you are pregnant, you don't want to start menses while you're pregnant. So that's one thing.
Hold on. Okay, is that better?
One thing you don't want to do is that even in a diffuser, I wouldn't recommend it, honestly. I always. Okay,
can you hold on a second? Look, if you don't get frustrated with me, they said our volume went way down.
I had one person say that.
Well, Lone Star said we were gone.
Right, and then said back.
Can you guys hear us now? It's the storm. It could be the storm. Volume is fine here. Okay.
So, okay, so I'm getting there. So basically, the thing is you have to be careful with using it. I always err on the side of caution, because I don't ever want to take any chances. If right. There is a possibility that it could be an issue, no. I can find other oils that might have the property of what I'm looking for, but not have the issue of inducing menses. I just don't. I won't take that cycle. Yeah. You know, like menstrual.
So, okay, got it.
Okay, so the other thing was, and everybody is already, all of my great A students, is that if you are breastfeeding and you want to continue breastfeeding, don't use it. However, if you are trying to dry up, and all of you women in here who have done this know that it can be extremely painful, this helps reduce lactation, and it also helps with the pain that comes with it, the soothing that comes with it.
You do these portions just to make me uncomfortable.
I mean, I'm sorry, but
because last time we did peppermint, you didn't say anything.
Yeah, I did.
You
know how I know? Because these are my notes from 2.5 years ago, and look at it.
I'm not looking at it.
Exactly.
So, do you think we could use this, or could like Rose use
yes.
this if she's trying to dry up a cow? You said yes.
I already read it.
You already read what?
What she said dries up milk if you're breastfeeding, so don't use it on lactating goats. If you're trying to dry one up and it not be painful and swelling, then yes, you could. But if you're trying to have something lactate, goat, cow, sheep, whatever, don't use it on them because you don't want it to dry up. You don't want that to happen. So that's kind of a use or a not use depending on what your intention is. So definitely keep that in mind. Also, anybody with high blood pressure, be careful. This is what they call a vasoconstrictor, which means that it narrows the blood vessels. So if you have high blood pressure, you don't want to use this because you already have issues with your blood vessels. You don't want to close them down any more than they already are.
What did Rolls and Roop say?
Huh?
Dude, what?
Dude, minutes. I don't know.
I don't know.
Clary Sage, hello. So, okay, so that's the other thing with high blood pressure. You don't want to deal with that. This oil is mostly consists of menthol. Like it's over 50% menthol. So you want to keep that in mind. It can have side effects. Like I was saying before, heartburn. Anybody with GERD or intestinal issues, you have to be careful with this. Use it properly. What?
I'm confused.
Uh-huh.
Because when I have my GERD attacks,
mm-hmm.
and I'm hiccuping and I cannot breathe because everything is closing down.
Right.
You jam peppermint up my nose.
No, I let you inhale it, but I don't have you ingest it. I'm talking about ingesting right now.
Oh. Okay.
Right. So if you're ingesting,
well then don't stick around.
If you don't want to ingest this if you have intestinal issues, things like that. Some pills have a coating on them that are sometimes covered in peppermint. And you want to be very careful with anything like that because that can actually make things worse. Another thing, there's some people say... What?
Ryan wants Rose Time.
Movie time.
Movie.
Oh,
that's
what they call it now.
That's what the
Movie
kids call it
time.
these days. Movie time.
So, yeah, I had fish oil that had peppermint coating, and it gave me awful reflux. That's exactly. So that's the thing. Anything with, is it called like enteroteric or something like that? Netflix and chill. So, anything with that kind of a coating on it, you want to be really careful. Steer away from that kind of stuff. Clinton never ingested. That's not what I heard. The other thing is there's a medication called
Love you too, Rose.
Neural and Sandimune. Both of those medications, it can interact with those. Also, anything that is processed or changed by the liver, you want to be careful because those can also interact. The other thing that I always tell people is if you're using an oil for a certain issue, like say you were wanting heart health or you're wanting stuff for high blood pressure or things like that, make sure that you're not using it at the same time you're using a medication because you're doubling up is basically what's happening. You don't want to use both at the same time because it'll actually make the effects of whatever be twice as much, and you don't want that to happen. I don't want to say overdose, but you don't want to have an overwhelming amount of whatever that property is, whether it's medicinal, through a medication, or through an oil, or anything else for that matter. So you just got to be really careful, do your own research, figure this stuff out. Don't just take it for my word, what I say. There's lots of information out there. All I ask is that you make sure that you don't just take it from one place. Take it from several different places and use a discerning character to be able to say, okay, this seems a little... Like I was reading one today that said that you use 20 drops of peppermint oil and 20 drops of eucalyptus oil in 2 cups of Epsom salts and pour it in your bathtub. And I'm thinking 40 drops of essential oils in a bath. That there's just no way. That would be absolutely horrible. Yeah, you would be on fire. And so that's the thing is like, I really, if you ever have any questions and you want a sounding board, send me a message. I promise you, I will get back to you as soon as I possibly can. There's a lot of misinformation out there is what I'm trying to tell you. So be very discerning. Cross-check your references. Don't just take one person for their word.
Well, I mean, for example, wasn't Peppermint the one that Carol overloaded
right. Well,
me
that's
in
what
the
I was
bathtub?
saying. Right. Well, she did both. And that's why I was saying when I read that and it said 20 drops of each, I was like, oh my God, no. Because I know what happens when you do that. It's horrible. So
I was in there like Neville.
He was in there and he's like
from
shaking.
Harry Potter.
Like,
I was
oh
like,
my God, what is wrong with me?
Why does it always have to happen to me?
No. The fires of hell would infest your nether riches. That's the other thing. Like, oh my gosh, I can't imagine. And they were talking about using it to relax, to get rid of the pain and stuff. And I'm like, no, are you kidding me? So
I don't know how many drops of peppermint oil Carol put in that tub.
It wasn't the peppermint. What happened was the eucalyptus. We were gifted 2 huge bottles of eucalyptus oil when we first started doing essential oils classes. And they were straight from Australia. So it was as pure could be. And she sent them over, and we put, instead of having an orifice reducer on it, it was just wide open. And so she just poured it in there. And I was like, oh my gosh, what did you do? Because I thought Jason was just pulling my leg, because every once in a while he knows I'm doing something and he'll be like, Robyn, come here. You know, he'll do something silly. So he knew I was cooking dinner, and he starts making these noises and talking and screaming at me. And I'm like, you're just pulling my leg. And finally I heard the tone. And I was like, oh my gosh. I turned off the stovetop and I ran in there, and I come in, and literally he's like, what did you put in this bath? And I'm like, Carol was just supposed to put like 5 drops of each one, or like 3 drops of each one, and put it in your full bath, like a full bath. And he's sitting in like half the water, and he's like shaking. And I'm like, oh my God.
I'm glad this is funny to everybody. It's funny when you have me eat patchouli and my lips went back into the back of my head. It was funny when you burnt me with oregano oil. Yep. And it's funny you had me doing the hippie shake in the bathtub. Yeah,
I was actually pretty worried for you. That's why I laugh now, is because at the time it was a panic, because it was like it was really bad. Yeah. So anyway, in all of that, err on the side of caution. If there's ever any kind of warning or anything like that, and it's something that pertains to you, just make sure that you're careful and responsible.
Peppermint is a diffuser. I don't remember that one.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. If you put too much peppermint in a diffuser, you can, like, it's almost as bad as putting the
oregano in the diffuser. That was bad.
Yeah, that is bad. Don't ever put Anyway, if you have too much of anything, y'all, moderation is key. And just remember this. If Niama's leaving?
Yeah.
Just remember.
She said you hurt her feelings, and so she was out.
I'm sorry, but is an orifice reducer the same as duct tape? No. Orifice reducer is that little plastic thingy right there that makes the drops. The little plastic thing.
Anita, remember my...
Yeah, Jason, he put like 10 plus drops in it.
I don't remember that.
Yeah. She told me about it, and she was like, oh my God, I couldn't even, like... Your eyes start to water. You're like, oh my God, I can't breathe. It's bad. Now, that's a good segue into what I was getting ready to say. All right. One really good property of peppermint that we found is it's a carminative, meaning that it helps get rid of gas.
Here we
now,
go.
some people take that and they go, oh, my baby has colic. Let me go ahead and use it on my baby. Well, sounds plausible. However, no bueno. Not good for kids under 3. Their nasal passages are very sensitive at that age. And you have to be super, 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 super careful. There is... and also eucalyptus. These are both that everybody's like, yeah, they're great for opening up the nasal passages. I'm going to put it in my kid's diffuser in their room and open everything up. And that's just not good. You have to be super careful with both of these oils when you're using with children, particularly under the age of 3. There is an article that I've asked Terry to post. Terry, if you'll post that. This is a safety guideline for uses and usage, not just for children, but it's just an overall article written by the Robert Tisserand Institute. It is very helpful. It gives you guidelines on exactly what dilution rate to use for children, what age. And if you have any issues or concerns about safety with children, I encourage you to go to the TisserandInstitute.org and you can type in a particular oil and safety, and I'm sure you'll find an article for that. There is an article, and also another article that's just on peppermint and eucalyptus for use with children. It's a very in-depth article. You can find it on that same website. But just be very careful if you're using with kids under 3. Also, skin sensitivity. If you have skin sensitivity, you must dilute this oil because it could be so intense that it could cause some issues with skin. Kathleen says, my sister's a PA and she walked into her daughter's preschool and they were cranking out that thieves oil from the diffuser, and she told not to because the kids with asthma. Yes, you have to be super careful when you're diluting because different children can have different reactions. I had a friend who was a teacher at a school, and she diffuses lemon and lavender, and typically lemon and lavender are safe. And she doesn't buy from me very often, but when she does, those are what she buys. And then she also buys oregano and On Guard for herself to keep herself from getting sick. So those are that you very, very much have to be responsible when you're using oils. Dilute with a carrier oil, not water. Exactly. So a carrier oil, for any of you that don't know, a carrier oil is something that doesn't have any of those properties.
It's a strong oil because it carries all the other ones.
Right. Now, Swampy Acre says doTERRA has a baby and kids line now. I don't know that it's baby, is it? I think it's just, I think they have don't they have some soap-ish kind of stuff? But the children's stuff is really heavily diluted. So that, again, it's that whole thing of making sure that you have the right dilution
there's the mama
set up so that you're using these properly for your children. So you just have to be, so she says, as an asthmatic, there's only so much scent even a pure source I can handle. Yeah. So anyway, that's that as far as peppermint goes. So again, we spent 10 minutes easy talking about this, so you could tell that I'm super super serious about making sure that we're not having any issues with that. I want to make it very clear these are things that you need to keep in mind when you're using these oils. Okay, so now for the fun stuff. Now that we got all of the drama out of the way, let's talk about, first of all, how can you apply it. You can use it topically, which, like I said, if you have skin sensitivity, use a carrier oil. Even if you're not using, even if you don't have skin sensitivity, this is definitely one of those ones that can benefit from using as with a carrier oil. Carrier oils tend to distribute the oil a little bit better, and so that helps a lot. The other thing is, with carrier oils, one thing that I forgot to say, because I saw Mama come in here, I got distracted. Squirrel.
Because she brings in a whole bunch of squirrels.
So, carrier oils are things like
6 pairs of glasses.
Almond oil, jojoba.
What? What are you calling
sweet
ho-ho?
Almond.
Wait. Ho-ho, that's a candy. That's like a tasty
avocado oil, coconut oil, anything like that works wonders.
Right, let's go back to the ho-ho.
Jojoba. Jojoba.
Oh, I thought you was talking about the little ho-hos, the little chocolate candy with the cream filled stuff. Oh, you got my attention there for a second. I ain't had a ho-ho in all.
Let's talk about, I'm excited. I just ordered 3 of the 4 new oils. Which ones, Mama?
No.
And
there's
the squirrel. Okay, so how to apply. Topically, we just talked about. Aromatically, you can diffuse this in moderation.
I'm still trying to remember when I did that with the thing and what happened. It must have been funny if Nita and them are bringing it up.
What?
When I diffused a whole bunch of peppermint.
No, it wasn't you. Her husband did it to her. at her house.
Oh, okay.
And totally, like, choked her out. Like, super bad. Like, it was bad. Oh. Okay. Real quick, I'll cover this. C-Dean says, tell them the best way to store the oils. So, most companies now package their oils in amber glass bottles or cobalt blue bottles so that the sunlight doesn't, it's a lot harder for the sunlight to get in. You definitely want to store your oils away from the direct sunlight. You also want to store them in a cool place because that will help with absorption. And they won't break down in their properties as quickly.
Tanya woke up.
A good thing that we like to do is we have boxes that we put them in, close the boxes up, and put them in a cool place, like in a closet or something like that. So that works out really well. The other thing, too, is with your orifice reducer, try your very hardest not to touch the orifice reducer. Try to keep that from being touched because you don't want it to get contaminated with the oils on your skin, germs, anything like that.
You know,
It smells amazing.
Ladessa licks the lemon one, right?
Oh, I bet she does. Probably has big old scabs on her tongue, too. All right. So let's talk about the fun stuff. Very first thing, cool information.
Tanya wants to know if it helps with wrinkles. She got a lot of them.
Bite me, Jason. It's coming. Green mandarin, yarrow, and turmeric. You'll love turmeric.
Yeah, we got turmeric.
We love turmeric. It is fantismo. Okay. The yarrow is good, but yarrow palm is 2 different oils. It's pretty cool. Yeah, cobalt blue bottles are pretty. The problem is that you, the problem with the cobalt blue that I've seen is most of them are frosted, so whenever I try to put a label on them, they're horrible. So, yeah, Suburban, you would probably enjoy turmeric. It's very helpful. All right, so
that's the one I used as a ground cover, and that raccoon came walking right up on us.
I just know I use it for anti-inflammatory. It is fantastic for my spasms on my back. Okay, so cool information. This is one of the oldest European herbs. But it was also used in ancient Chinese and Japanese folk medicine. It was found in Egyptian pyramids because they used to use it for indigestion and things like that. Ancient Greeks, they thought that mint would cure hiccups. That'll be the only time you hear me say the word cure. But that's what their belief was that it would help with hiccups. Also, another really cool thing is it is the most extensively used volatile oil, both commercially and medicinally. There are typically over 4,000 tons of peppermint produced each year. The United States, actually, even though peppermint is native to the Mediterranean, the United States produces anywhere from 70 to 90% of the peppermint that's produced in the world. That's pretty amazing. For the supply, anyway. Let's see. Oh, another cool thing. So we just went through the holidays. Somebody asked earlier about whether or not you can use it to cook with. Yes, you can. I figured out, and again, we have another...
Can one of our mods put up the Thin Mint's video link, please?
Yes. So, one of these... Good
Kitty.
God, Apollo.
He's not even in here.
Then, that was you then. Oh my God, take some peppermint oil.
It wasn't me.
So, this...
Why are you trying to blame me?
Oil... No, I didn't do it. So it wasn't me. So
smelt it
you can use this oil
Fox smells
to
his own
cook
hole.
with. I was trying to. This was when we were poor, and I wanted Thin Mints. It was Girl Scout time.
Smelt it, you dealt it.
And I wanted Girl Scout cookies. And everybody was buying them, and we couldn't justify spending $5 on a little bitty box. So I had peppermint oil, and we had chocolate bark. And so I made some Thin Mints with peppermint oil. We put it in the cookie and also in the chocolate.
Silver Badger, send me an email, and I'll walk you through it.
So that was a game changer for us because I was using peppermint extract.
30 pounds.
I was using peppermint extract, and the thing is that peppermint extract is not as strong as the peppermint oil. And so I started using the peppermint oil to make these Thin Mints, and it is an amazing recipe. It is so good. Very, very good. That video is right there if you want to ever check that out.
So
Tuck it off to the side somewhere. It is amazing. It's really, really good. We also did one on Samoas and tagalongs, and they were also very good.
Kitty, if you could put the links to those up there, I'd appreciate it.
So, interestingly, Teresa says, 2 mints I like, peppermint and wintergreen. I'm okay with wintergreen. Can't do spearmint. Spearmint makes me... And really, wintergreen's not really a mint. It smells like mint, but it's not really a mint. Wintergreen is an evergreen. So you have to be... Let's see. Yeah, I would figure he likes spearmint. Bye, Kitty. Have a good night. He said, I love making spearmint ice cream. Start with vanilla, then add spearmint oil. Oh.
Can one of my other mods put the links up to those other videos, please?
Spearmint makes me kind of, yucky. I don't like spearmint. Alright, so let's talk about, just a few of the other things, because we've been talking about uses and stuff throughout the class. Real quick, everybody knows, mints, generally speaking, are very invasive. You start to plant one little plant, and what happens? Takes over a bed, right?
Takes over.
And a lot of them will only grow between like 18 inches and 36 inches max. Like some of them will grow tall, like your regular sweet mints and stuff. And then she put up the Thin Mint one. He was talking about the tagalongs and the Samoas. But so I don't even know where I was going. Oh, so they grow out like 2 feet.
Yes.
They can, they don't just go up, but they'll grow out. And so you'll have something, and especially something like peppermint, because peppermint tends to be more ground cover, so it spreads out a lot.
Yeah, and Josh says that they grow it as a companion with roses.
I bet it's amazing.
I bet that is, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I bet it smells wonderful, because the mint and the rose probably complement each other very well. So that's kind of where I always want people to know it's not always necessarily bad. If you can't afford an oil, you can always make something that's an infused oil. So you could take a peppermint leaves, put it in some olive oil. Now, obviously, it's not going to be as strong because essential oils, for the most part, this one in particular, is steam distilled. And that was one cool thing that I found out about it, is that with peppermint oil, the way that they get it is it actually comes from the specialized cells that are on the underside of the leaves. So when they steam distill it, that's where it comes from, is up underneath the bottoms of the leaves. And that's why a lot of people, you'll see, they'll fold the leaf over and they rub the leaf together, but they're really getting the oil on their fingers from the backside of the leaf. So that's something that I thought was cool. Another thing, I don't know, a lot of people know this, but peppermint is not, it's a cross. It's a cross of a watermint and a spearmint together. So it's not something like it has to be crossed to get. Let's see. I steep peppermint in oil, glycerin, spray around that. Right.
Yep, she's taken away from my dude moment.
Yeah. Do you want to go ahead and do that at this point?
No, go ahead.
The other thing is that I found, and this is something that I'm going to tuck away in my brain for this year, is the best time to pick and collect oil or anything like that is on a sunny day at the beginning of the flowering, when the flowering is just starting to begin. And that's when the menthol is at its peak for the leaves. So that's pretty useful as well. If you're not buying essential oils, if you're trying to just use it for its natural, in the garden, it's good to know that those things are the strongest. And it's also good to know that if you're using it for cooking and you don't want it to be overpowering, not to pick it then. Because you don't want it to be so strong that it takes over a dish. Mm-hmm. So that's something as well to know. Tanya said it'll also open up your head and help you breathe. That's exactly right. It can definitely help with that. All right. So.
Suburban don't know how to spell.
Make the beat dance.
It's bear. What makes a sound?
Okay. So, I came across on my notes one more thing I wanted to say that I thought was cool. There's a couple of little, history things. In Greek mythology, there is a nymph named Mentha, and she ticked off Persephone because Hades... Huh? This is where my Carol influence comes in. So, Hades saw Mentha. She was beautiful, and it caught her eye, or she caught his eye, and Persephone got jealous. And so the story goes that Persephone turned her into a plant. And anytime that anyone touched her as the plant, it gave off this strong mint smell. So that was the story behind peppermint. Aristotle. What?
Anita just burned
Suburban. Really? I'm on a phone. I'm shocked. And I hadn't dropped the phone yet.
Now, for everybody that's new, that's just coming in, Suburban, Anita, Kitty, Tanya, Amanda's Gardens, Vina Trollslayer,
Mama,
Steve. They have been moderators with us for a
years.
long time. And I think Kitty is the oldest, and then I think Suburban comes in there, or Tanya, one of them, and then Anita and Green Gables and a whole bunch of those. Well, Suburban used to moderate on a phone. And Suburban and I picked back and forth. And I'd get her so aggravated sometimes that she would drop the phone and end up timing out somebody.
Yeah, no joke. And even, so.
Yeah.
Very funny. So, she still does. So, are we buffering? Because people are saying we're buffering. We are.
Oh, you're buffering.
We are buffering.
Make sure nobody's in there on the computer or on Wi-Fi. Streamlabs still says we're green. Yeah, everybody else is saying they're good.
Well, I'm showing that we're buffering, so I just.
Yeah, well, I mean, that could have happened from a thing. I mean, I can refresh it here, and it probably not buffering anymore.
Okay. But, all right, everybody's fine. So, all right. So anyway, I don't want anybody to miss anything.
Right,
so,
see.
all right, there we go.
It was just us because we probably buffered one time and we never really
And it
fixed
never
it.
refreshed. That's okay. I'm still turning the internet off in the house. Somebody's gonna come out here in a minute and ask me about it. So okay. So another really cool thing, Aristotle claimed that peppermint was a natural aphrodisiac, and Alexander the Great prohibited his soldiers from using peppermint because he didn't want them to have any distracting or erotic feelings while they were out on when they're supposed to be fighting. That's what he wanted them to concentrate on, not anything else.
So that kind of weirds me out.
Why?
Well, I'm a combat veteran. I never had those urges
No?
while we were out there fighting. Not once.
I mean, I don't know. But, I mean, these were also...
I had intense urges to get my backside lower than my head.
I mean, you know. So, anyway. She says while blushing. My face gets red really easily.
No, you was blushing.
So...
You
All
was
right, so
thinking
let's
about
get on to the nitty-gritty because we're already at an hour.
You
That's
was
why I
thinking
love
about-
these classes.
You was
They're
thinking
awesome.
about me and my dress blues.
That's exactly what I was thinking about. All right, so what is it good for? What is it good for? Well, this oil contains manganese, iron, magnesium, calcium, folate, potassium, and copper. It also has omega-3 fatty acids, vitamin A, and vitamin C. It is antibacterial, antiviral, antifungal, analgesic, which is for pain, antispasmodic, which is exactly what it sounds like. It's carminative, which I already said is for gas, to get rid of gas. It's anti-inflammatory, decongestant, mucolytic. What?
My bearded brother says we're culturally different.
Different people. Mucolytic, meaning that it can help. Sorry. It can help with any kind of mucus breakdown and help get rid of all of that stuff. Anti-catarrhal.
I wonder if it would have helped stop that noodle tonight.
That poor child. That poor child. Okay, Lord, give the bottle to Jason for his gas problems. We use it all the time for his gas problems. All joking
and
aside.
hey, here's another bus.
Mm-hmm.
You love
So.
kicking me underneath the bus.
How about your manly moment? Let's talk about your manly moment.
Oh, somebody brings up farting.
There it is, manly moment. Okay, manly moment. Go ahead, do your dude corner. Tell me what you use peppermint
Somebody
for.
brings up farting, and all of a sudden there's a man moment.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you women don't
We
cut
fart roses. Get over it. There's these beautiful blossoms that come straight out of our booties.
Okay.
And it goes.
Well, let me tell you something.
We air
let
fluff.
Let me tell you something right now.
We don't fart.
I have a degree in horticulture. I used to garden with my grandfather. Vegetables and flowers. I never in my life
Along with rainbows.
have ever smelled a rose that has made me gag when you try to Dutch oven me the way you do sometimes.
We air fluff. We don't fart. We just fluff beautiful smelling air.
And times you would have killed the Taliban.
He said, not at a certain time, then it's rotten roses. The white picket fence. Oh, Robyn, I love you, but I could clear a room and it doesn't smell of roses.
All right.
A rose by any other name. Okay, Jason, go ahead. Go ahead and tell us what was your first experience with peppermint?
My first experience is when I had the GERD attack, and it got so bad that I could hardly breathe.
Right, your hiccups would get so bad
Yeah.
that you couldn't catch your own breath.
And I was and my body was trying to regurgitate it out. And,
His whole body would start to heave.
And you came in there and you basically shoved
That
the
was
whole
like,
bottle
smell
up.
it! Just like that.
Don't need.
Now it's touching your nose.
And it calmed me down, you know, and it got to the point where we used it so much for that that when we were at in Tennessee up at Hope's place, I think it was Hope's when one of her kids started puking. No, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Started feeling sick to his stomach
and
or whatever.
It wasn't at her place. It was at the little flea market that we got invited to by I can see her face plain as day. I can't remember her name.
Teresa.
No. She spun the wool.
Dana.
And we went to that little festival.
Oh, the little shopping thing.
And I think
Yay! Dancing.
Butter got sick and Dessa grabbed it and jammed it up his nose.
Yeah. We definitely use it a lot for nausea. But like I was saying before, it's antispasmodic. So it helps. If you know what a hiccup is, it's actually your diaphragm that's opening and closing.
Totally taking over dude moment right now.
Go ahead.
Now, as a dudes, we work outside a lot. One of the things that you can do with peppermint oil in the hot sun, you just got to be careful, is you can mix it up in a water bottle and you can spritz your do-rag down and that will help keep you cool.
Yes.
It'll help keep you cool.
Yeah.
The other thing that you can... What?
I was just, dinner's done. Anybody want some?
I do.
We already ate.
The other thing that, as a dude, that you can do with peppermint is you can gift the bottle to your wife and tell her to make those thin mints.
Yes.
Because those are fabulous.
They are amazing. They're really good. Like, we were making them with peppermint extract. I know I've already said that, but we were making them with peppermint extract, and they were working really well. But then when we went over to peppermint oil instead of extract, it worked out much better. The flavor was a lot better.
Also, it's trapping season, right? You can use a little bit of peppermint oil to catch coons, possums,
Raccoons.
Well, the rent to grow threw me off, and I had to remember who it was.
Yeah, it's Claire.
Yeah, and so
tell or ask her to make this.
You tell her. You be like, hey.
Ask nicely.
Make them. You rehearse like that, and then when she comes in, you're like, hey, baby, can you please make these for me? You can use it for trapping. You can also use it in your vehicle. Now, check this out. Kids tend to get car sick. Okay?
Our daughter especially.
You put a little bit on a cotton ball, jam it in the air conditioning unit, crank that puppy up. Now, it helps with car sickness. But we also know that on long road trips, you get that road trip dead feet fungus,
smelling,
Taco Bell fart smelling odor in your vehicle. Okay? So when you guys are going to go crash at the campground or you're going to crash at the hotel on a long trip, again, cotton ball, peppermint oil, leave it on the dashboard. It will teenage funk.
Yes, teenager feet. Yes, all of that. And then that's one of the things is that it's also antibacterial. So one of the things that's really great about it is if you use it, like one person was saying they use it to clean. They You can use it as a diffuser in your car. You don't have to have a cotton ball. If you've gone out to eat somewhere or gone through the drive-thru and you have just a napkin, you can put it in a napkin and just put it in your air intake through your thing. Yes, I do have a headache. That's why I put it on the back of my neck.
So there are a lot of uses as dudes that it benefits us with this essential oil.
Another big thing.
They can use what?
Well, what did we use it a ton for when we first started using oils on you?
I already said that, my GERD.
No. Even before the GERD. Before we figured out that it worked for GERD. Oh, ye of little remembrance surprise.
Oh, yeah. Now, look, we get sore muscles when we're working, right?
Super sore muscles.
Super sore. Well, there is a blend that Peppermint is in. It's this blend right here. It's called Deep Blue. Now, this Deep Blue also comes in like a cream, kind of like Bengay or Icy Hot. Okay? All right? You get your bride to rub it on your sore spots. Okay? And then put peppermint on top of it, and it helps push it in to loosen up your tight muscles, to hit them achy joints.
Hey, Sammy. Yes.
All
Works
those kind of things.
Absolutely amazing. Deep Blue is good. The oil is good. In my opinion, the rub is better. Deep Blue rub. It comes in a lotion form. Put just a little bit on, rub it on, and then if you put the peppermint oil layered on top of it, it drives the lotion down into the muscles to help work the muscles. Yeah. But like Suburban said, don't use it on open pores because, I mean, it does have peppermint in it, and it can burn.
Now, the biggest thing, and I found this on complete, utter accident. I don't even think I've shared this with my bride over here. I was out working on her car. We were changing out the spark plugs and stuff. And I had greasy hands. Well, I thought I was grabbing lemon or I thought I was grabbing one of the citrus ones. I grabbed peppermint. Now, my hands did get the whole tingly cold thing, but that grease was running off of my hand. I don't know why. I don't care why.
I don't care why.
But all of the oil and the grease and the junk that you get on your hands when you're working on a car, all the brake dust, all that stuff, it went running away. Now, somebody else in the chat box already said that they use a peppermint spray to keep the field mice away. Yes.
Also, she said that she mops her floor and wipes her countertops down with it to keep them off the floor. So that might be something to try as well.
It also works as a repellent for bugs. Not so much on ants. We haven't seen, especially fire ants. Hasn't been very successful with us for fire ants, but the sugar ants, aka the piss ants, works great for those guys. Now, Kitty, it didn't work great for Kitty. Okay? But she was in Jersey at the time. I think those ants just had a bigger attitude up there in Jersey because, you know, everybody up north, they got the attitude. And, but she had a super huge sugar ant, piss ant problem up there, and nothing worked for her. We were trying everything.
And spiders too.
Yeah. But a lot of pest control. A lot of roaches, German roaches, American cockroaches. It does for a little bit, but it doesn't make them run out of your house. Okay? But it does work halfway decent on mice. But you can't, just like you can't use the same, like pest control companies won't treat your house with the same chemical each month or each time they come out. because these guys will get immune to it and they'll go away. You can't overuse it.
Right.
Okay?
That's why I was, when we were first talking, one of the first things I said was it helps to know all of the properties of the oil, because then that way, if one doesn't work, then you can try another one. Or if it does work, you don't wear it out, you can kind of alternate and keep them guessing.
What about mosquitoes?
Those are more of your ground smelling stuff. Arbor Vitae is really good for that. Cedarwood, those kind of things.
There is a blend that we'll get into later that I used deer hunting, archery hunting, because archery season opens up here in August, and
still super hot.
It's still super hot. There's still super ton of mosquitoes,
and
so this blend worked like a boss. That'll be part of the dude moment then. But dude moment over. Peppermint helps with GERD issues, acid reflux. Helps take the grease off of your hands. Helps get the teenage funk out of the car during long road trips. Helps calm everybody that gets sick along the road.
That's the big one, really, because between Jason's GERD and Carol being car sick, those two things, it's worth it just for those. All the other stuff's kind of a bonus. So
Robyn said she had
Argentine ants. That's why it didn't work. Peppermint helps my headaches, but after 20 minutes it's back. Any tips? Apply the temples, the back of the neck. You can also layer with lavender and frankincense. Again, different people, different things. I like to kind of focus on what the headache's from. If the headache is a tension or a stress headache, I tend to use stuff that makes, and it doesn't have to necessarily be something that is a sedative property oil. It can be something that you find pleasing, because we don't stress that's the reason why aromatherapy works the way that it does. If you have a scent that is something that's calming and inviting to you, you tend to relax. So if you really like the smell of lemongrass, just because it's not something that's typically used for headaches, if your headache is a stress headache or an anxiety headache, it may help you. So try to think outside of the box a little bit sometimes on these too, as it doesn't necessarily have to be something that's made specifically for that. If it's a headache and if it's a stress headache, you need something that's going to calm you down. It's not necessarily about opening up the vessels to allow the blood to get through and blah, 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 and all that stuff. Sometimes it can just be stress. And if you have something that helps you chill, then go for it. Use that. There's a lot of different applications for that stuff. A lot of stuff that Jason said. It's definitely good as an analgesic. So that's what we're talking about with the deep blue. Another thing that people have all talked about a little bit is with any kind of congestion. So there's another blend called Breathe. Other different companies will call it different things, but it's basically going to be called a respiratory blend. And this has peppermint in it. And so the menthol that's in the peppermint helps to open up the airways and the air passages to be able to, help decongest and break up the mucus and all of that stuff. You want to answer that?
It's a surprise.
Let's see. She says, I mix peppermint and lavender when I get stress headaches. So again, different people, different, everybody does things a little bit differently. Another thing we're talking about stress, Aroma Touch is another blend that has peppermint in it. This is a massage blend. So this helps with all of that different, helping Sherry, I sent you a message on Facebook, on Messenger. I did see your message. I was just trying not to get too far off track since we've been on for an hour and 20 minutes. The aromatherapy, not aromatherapy, the Aroma Touch works really good for massage, to help kind of soothe and, kind of help the massage, work and help people to relax while they're doing, while you're being massaged. There is also something for hunger pains. So peppermint works for hunger pains as well. If you're trying to work on losing some weight, there's a blend called a metabolic blend. For doTERRA, it's called Slim and Sassy. It does have peppermint, there's grapefruit, and a couple other things in it. But the peppermint helps to curb your appetite, curb your hunger. So that's another application that peppermint is used for a lot. When I'm at work and when I'm trying to lose weight, and sometimes I just say to heck with it, but when I'm trying to, Slim and Sassy is a good oil for me because I can put it in some water and swirl it around real good, drink it, and it works really well for me. It helps me to kind of not focus on being hungry.
Kathy, you got to give us 25 push-ups.
Another thing about peppermint, don't use it at night if you can help it. It is more of a daytime oil. It can definitely give you a pep of energy, so it's not something to use late at night. Unless it's just something, like with Breathe, if you pair it up with some lavender or something, you're good to go, but definitely don't want to use it by itself. It will wake you up. Let's see, what else? And, people who are, studying or trying to stay awake, peppermint is one of those, you could be, trying to study and focus on something and you're starting to feel kind of tired. You can take that peppermint and take a whiff of it, and it'll wake you up quick. And it also help with, focus and concentration and things like that. Another thing that it's been used for is children with focus issues, being alert issues. You can spray it on a shirt or diffuse it with lemon. Also, doTERRA has beadlets. They're just these little bitty BBs that have peppermint oil in them. And those are also something that kind of give you a quick, wake up kind of thing. Alright, let's see. Shampoo. So, a lot of people use commercial shampoos. We, about a month ago, decided to get off of commercial shampoos, and we started using baking soda and water for shampoo, and then we use apple cider vinegar and water for conditioner. And in the conditioner, we use peppermint and rosemary with the apple cider vinegar. And it's great. It's wonderful. The only thing is be careful with using peppermint as a shampoo or a conditioner. When the water rolls off, if it gets in your eyes, it can burn. The other thing is to be careful. Like we talked about earlier, the peppermint will make your body feel really cold. There's a lot of it, so don't use a ton. You only need a drop or two. Remember that an essential oil is essentially the condensed version of that thing. So, peppermint extract versus peppermint oil is going to be 10 times stronger than, a peppermint extract. Another thing that we use it for a lot around here is ant bites.
Yes.
You can take peppermint oil and put it on an ant bite, And that takes away some of the itching and the stinging because it cools and it calms because it's anti-inflammatory. So it's going to take that swelling down a little bit and help to kind of, and then it's just really good. That, and then if you pair it up with a little bit of lavender is a natural antihistamine. So you put those together and you have something that's an antihistamine that's going to help disperse that swelling and stop it from, reacting to your body. And then on top of that, the peppermint to soothe and cool it is a very good thing to have, especially during the summertime when you're dealing with ants, mosquitoes, that kind of thing. Fever reducer, this is also really good if you're trying to cool down. It helps to cool things down, and that segues me right into my midnight snacks with Satan, which I'm having right now. So that's the second thing that's helping.
No, it's
working. Yeah, but I am like on fire. I'm hot. But the peppermint on my neck is making me feel a lot cooler. We talked about the bug and mouse repellent, mosquitoes, spiders, that kind of thing.
Too bad it didn't repel a yoga challenge.
We said it's good for headache. It's also good for skin. So, eczema, psoriasis, if you use this with
that's why I look so young.
Carrier oil, it can help soothe some of that burning and stuff. Also, like I said, it's really good to pair with lavender. Helps soothe. No, my cheeks are naturally red, but if I'm warm, you can tell quickly just how warm I am.
You're a little bit redder than normal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I thought it was just because of my ravishing good looks.
It is, baby. You're sitting right here next to me.
Mm-hmm.
It's good for acne. That's another cool thing.
You better get on it, Rent to Grow. Get on it before it loses momentum.
We'll see. What else is it good for? Sunburn. Sunburn's another one. Lavender, lavender and peppermint together.
Who was it that got sunburned real bad and they put the peppermint and the lavender?
And loved me forever?
Yeah.
Meemaw.
Farmer Meemaw.
Mm-hmm.
That's right, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she posted a picture. She was like redder than my cheeks. And everybody obviously is going to tell her aloe. And so I told her, if you've got a little bit of peppermint and a little bit of lavender, you put those together and that will definitely soothe your skin. It'll help a lot. And yeah, quite frankly, Jen is what she goes by now. She was Farmer Meemaw back then. We talked about the stomach issues, any kind of indigestion, upset stomach, nausea. And here's
Diarrhea.
one of those. So here's one of those things again. I tell you that peppermint is great for nausea, but don't not listen to the beginning of my class where I say, if you're pregnant, don't use it. Don't be having morning sickness and use peppermint oil.
Mm-hmm.
No bueno. Not good. So definitely do your research on these. Make sure that if you're pregnant, make sure that you know that these oils are good for you. They're not going to cause you any issues. The thing with the tummy trouble, this is one of the things I always bring up with people. When you go to a restaurant, they always serve dinner mints, right? Well, that's because mint actually helps soothe the stomach. So, if you go somewhere and they're shoving peppermints down your throat, what does that tell you?
Food is bad.
Food is no bueno. No, that's not necessarily true. But
Olive
it's just,
Garden
that's a
does that.
habit, is that, that's... Oh, and speaking of that, I just want all the women to write this date down. Where is it? February 19th is National Chocolate Mint Day. Just saying. February 19th.
So, get in the kitchen and make the Thin Mints. Oh, yeah. I just went there.
No. Okay.
Because if we get in the kitchen and try to make the Thin Mints for you, we're going to blow it up.
Definitely not good.
We're going to blow up your kitchen.
Yeah. So
and we're gonna be like, but we love you.
I saw that Karen said on there, USA Kiwi said that she actually uses the beadlets for work, for breath. So peppermint also can be used for bad breath or to keep your breath fresh.
Teresa just don't understand. That's why we don't have an oven, because I was in the kitchen.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly what it was. So that's pretty much everything that I have. We're talking about alleviating nausea. Some people use it for things like with chemotherapy. Like if they get nausea from that, it can sometimes can help alleviate some of those issues. If you're not feeling well or you think you ate something that's not so great,
like my cooking,
that the peppermint oil can help with that as well. So there are way too many things to think about when talking about peppermint oil. There's just so many different stuff. Oh, and the other blend that we had on here that we didn't do. Well, we talked about Digest Zen, right? Mm-hmm. So this is the other one. We're talking about headaches. Past tense is actually a tension blend, and it's good for headaches. You can you can use this on your temples and also on the back of your neck to help alleviate the issues with a tension headache. But funny story, or not so funny story, she doesn't watch my shows, so I'm not worried about sharing it.
You are not going to kick my mama under the bus.
So,
you know what? I'm going to tell her.
Jason's mom,
first you throw Uno cards at her.
For 2 years now, has kind of been like...
See, this is why they don't come around
real
for
quick,
holidays.
Claire, with this peppermint oil, do you need a carrier oil? If you have any kind of skin sensitivity, you definitely want to use it. It's pretty strong. Just a little bit. I put 2 drops on my hand and put it on the back of my neck. The whole back of my neck is like I have ice cubes across it. So you don't need a lot. So you just have to be careful. So anyway, his mom has always kind of been like, essential oil, she's crazy. Whatever, it's fine. So, hey, Two Family.
Just show up when you want to, Two Family.
So, the last, about 2 or 3 months ago, she just out of the blue asked me if there was anything that she could use for her hot flashes. And of course, I suggested peppermint. But my big thing was I wanted her to try Clary Calm. Well, because she's been struggling with menopause for a very long period of time. We seriously have to talk
about this with my mom, about my mama.
So, look, we all are. I'm there too.
Okay, but you're not my mama.
Anyway, so I told her about Clary Calm. Well, I was at work when they came to pick up the girls. So my daughter accidentally grabbed past tense instead. Well, she used it over the weekend thinking it was going to help with that, and it really didn't help very much because it's not what it's for. Well, I told her, I said, look, no, that one's actually for headaches. The next time you come into town, I'll make sure I get you either Clary Sage or Clary Calm, one or the other. And so, didn't even think anything more of it. She said, well, the next time I come down, I'll make sure to give the bottle back to you because I have no use for it. Okay. Didn't think to tell her anything about it. Well, I get a phone call, 6:30 in the morning, and she sounds like she is bawling. And my heart drops into my stomach because I'm thinking that she's fixing to tell me something happened to Jason's dad. And I'm like, Mom, are you okay? What's going on? And she's like, oh my God, I used that oil for my headaches, and it's in my eyes, and I can't see, and oh my God, I'm freaking. I mean, she was freaking out. And I mean, I knew what she was going through. I've been there, done that. And so I'm like, calm down. It'll be okay. Do you have olive oil, coconut oil, any oil at all that's not the oil that you just put in your eye? And she's like, yeah. I said, okay, just put it on your cheekbones here and then up on your eyebrows, up on that bone right there, and it'll be fine. And she was good. Everything was good. So definitely be careful with any oil that has peppermint. Make sure that you clean your hands before touching your eyes. Not pleasant when you have peppermint oil in your eyes. Not
Or
good.
your husband.
Right. Yeah, you gotta be real careful. Let's see. I put Clary Calm on my neck and almost passed out. It was fabulous. Have you used the soap yet? Just saying. Well, now hold on, city girl. Suburban didn't just do like a dabble, do ya? She rolled the whole ball across her arms, her neck, back of her ears. She about knocked herself silly. I remember getting the phone call from when we were at the conference, and she's like, "Robyn, you're really tired." I'm like, "Suburban, you need to find the couch and go lay down because you're going to be asleep for a little while."
We'll wake you up on Tuesday.
Well, yeah, we'll wake you up next week. So yeah. So anyway, so these oils definitely good.
Aloha!
Hello, we got your card.
Yeah, it's right there. Yeah, right there. They can't see it. Go get it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Guys, we got your card. Love it. You got the only Christmas card we got was from y'all.
Yeah, we got no other Christmas cards.
No, it's probably because
we surprised. No. Hold up. Wait a minute. We did get another Christmas card.
Oh,
not fair.
That wasn't really a Christmas card.
Yes, it was.
That was a Christmas gift.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah, see, excuse me.
I don't clarify that one as a Christmas card.
Yeah, that was like the best Christmas card ever. I sent Daddy Hinkle. Yeah, that was a card. That was a hell of a card.
That was it. That card. No, Christmas card does not do that one just. Oh, you're gonna go get it.
Tell me this is not a Christmas card.
It's not.
It says, "Ho, ho, ho. Hope your Christmas is jolly." Now get ready. Don't. Okay, I'm giving you a warning. If you got some in your mouth, swallow. Here we go.
Again. Christmas card does not give that one justice.
Anyway, so yeah, very, very awesome. Did you finish the mushrooms? Yes.
Yes.
He's got a video about it.
Did you not see the video?
Did you not see the video? Please don't say bad words. What did I say?
I don't know.
I said hell, didn't I? That
Probably.
was it? Oh. Sorry. Anyway. So that's basically where we're at with the peppermint oil. Does anybody have any questions? Any questions at all? Any questions?
I do.
What?
Where does one get peppermint oil?
Email me and I'll get it for you. I don't really think of that one as a cuss word there, Sammy. I'm sorry that... Can you put peppermint in tea? Oh.
Yes.
Oh, no. Do you not remember what happened when we put
coffee.
peppermint? Doesn't matter. Does not matter. You probably could, but I would not recommend a full drop.
I would do the toothpick thing.
You need to put a toothpick in it, and then put the toothpick in your cup. Because at least for us, a full drop was way too much. It overpowers all your drinking is peppermint. If you want peppermint tea, then yeah. But if you want to flavor a little bit of your tea with peppermint to it, then that works. So, anyway. Yeah, but you can. You can cook with it. You can put it in. I mean, some people during the summertime, like, another thing that we use the mint for was when Blaze made lamb chops with the mint jelly or the mint whatever it was that he had on it. We used the peppermint for that too.
Yeah. Peppermint you can use for cook. It's pretty much a all around essential oil. Because you can use it. Really wish you wouldn't do that.
I didn't do anything.
Yes, you did.
Oh, I refreshed. I'm sorry.
All around oil. You can use it for digestive issues. You can use it to cook with. You can use it to flavor things with. You can use it to wash off grease and grime. It's a really good oil.
Right.
So, if you want to get your hands on some of this fabulous essential oil, one of my mods, can you put up the oil's email address, please?
Is that a cow on your shirt? Yes, it's a cow.
Email Robyn.
Yeah, peppermint does not work for stink bugs.
Email Robyn.
There you go. Big Bear Farms Oils at hotmail.com. How would it be in a gin martini? I don't know. I don't like gin. I mean, if it was a vodka martini like the real people drink.
Okay, can you focus and tell people how they can get this?
Have brain aneurysm. Well, that restricts use of peppermint for other things. How do you have a brain aneurysm and it's not... So my mother passed away from a brain aneurysm. So, the thing is that it's a constrictor. It's a vasoconstrictor. So I don't think it would be a good idea. Because if you're already having an issue, you really, you need to, that's exactly what you need to do. You need to ask your care provider about that, because I don't think that's, just knowing what I know about aneurysms and knowing what I know about peppermint oil, those two don't really go together very well. Peppermint martini, yummy. Gotta try that. Yep, I have my resident, what would I even call her?
Who?
My EMT medical helper. She helps me break down the medical stuff a little bit.
Okay, so, again.
Everybody's asking me about my shirt. We retired these. Yeah, you. Alright, so, if you have any questions or you want to order any of the oils, you can definitely contact me at Big Bear Farms Oils at hotmail.com. Like I said, if you have anything that you're questioning that you might need a little bit of help with, trying to find places to look for information, I can definitely help you with that. I did have somebody earlier ask about a book. What's the best books? In my opinion, the two really good ones, there's one called Modern Essentials, and there's also one called The Essential Life. And both of those are very extensive. The Modern Essentials is more geared towards the scientific side of it. The Essential Life is more on the practical, everyday use side of it. So it just kind of depends on where you're at and what kind of information you want. I started out with the Essential Life book. There's a lot of recipes and applications and things like that in it. Then once I got really comfortable with that, I moved on to the Modern Essentials book. So,
Suburban made up funny.
And I believe both of those books are in our description. There's links to those, I believe, somewhere. So
I think so.
Yeah. So you can check those out.
If not, it'll be in when the video goes live.
Maybe that t-shirt is from Daisy's new maternity photo shoot. No, this is from Insomnia Club, back when we used to do Insomnia Club. That's just a cow right on the side that hasn't been sleeping. Yeah. And there's actually, y'all can't really see this, but there's actually, he's pooping out a steak right there. So, yeah. Anyway. Vasoconstriction or anything to do with the size of your veins, arteries, and all that good stuff, you need advice. Exactly. So that's my... Check the Amazon link in the description box after the show. Yeah, I think it's in there. I think that's pretty... I think we put all those links in there. All right. Well, not too bad. Not quite 2 hours. That's good. My son was betting on it being like 3.
So if you want any information about the peppermint essential oil, hit Robyn up in the Big Bear Farms Oils email. Also, if you want any information about becoming a doTERRA wellness advocate or a wholesale customer where you can get these oils at wholesale prices, or you can turn this into a small business of your own. Mm-hmm. Go ahead and contact Robyn at the same email address. She will be more than willing and happy to go over the guidelines. Let me say that again. To be able to guidelines with you of what it takes to be a wellness advocate and what the potential is to be able to turn it into a small business. And if you just want to get the oils at a cheaper price, she will be able to do that for you also.
Okay, a couple things. Allie's wondering if you caught any raccoons lately. Not yet. Do you have a regular schedule for your live shows or classes? Yes. Saturday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern for the live shows, and for the classes, we're going to try and do them every Wednesday night at 8 o'clock. Yeah. So if you remember 8 o'clock, and then it's either Saturday or Wednesday. One or the other. Yeah. Let's see. I enjoyed your class. Learned a lot about peppermint. Oh, whoa. Thank you.
Woo.
Appreciate that. Learned a lot about peppermint oil. Thanks for hosting a class. Looking forward to watching more. Awesome.
Thank you, Kathleen.
Thank you, Kathleen. Appreciate that.
Appreciate that.
So yeah. So there's a lot of stuff to look at.
Get a pole dance.
Yeah, there's your pole dance. Is Daisy being good? Yes, so far.
Yes. Oh.
We can.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, now, we used to do this with the old essential oils class. But we're gonna kick this up again, and
but now before you even do that, I want you to say, I cannot send you something if you don't send me your mailing information. I have a lot of people that are like, well, where was my sample? Where was your address? So I'm not trying to be mean, but I am only so good with the mental telepathy. So if you win, I need you to email me your information on there. So, okay. That being said, please let Daisy be the one doing the pole dance and not Jason.
that cuts me deep. So, we are going to give away a free sample of peppermint oil. Now, first things first. You have to email us your mailing address, whether it's P.O. Box or your physical mailing address.
Right.
Either way. Okay. Second, we're going to ask the question. Whoever gets it right via our chat box, okay, is the winner. You may have a different order in your chat box, but we go by what's on ours. I do not know how to put it up like Daryl does.
Not that awesome.
He's gonna, when he comes down to eventually fix my tractor, he will show me how to do that. Yeah. Or he won't be allowed to leave.
The answer is $19.99.
So,
what?
Question. Give me a trivia question.
From Peppermint tonight?
Yes, from Peppermint tonight.
How much peppermint is produced each year currently for use?
Holy crap, I don't even know that one.
I said it. Yeah. It's in tons, I'll tell you that much. Not 3 million, 4,000 tons right there.
Who was it?
Linda Renner.
Linda Renner.
4,000 tons. 4,000 tons, y'all. That's a ton. 4,000 to be exact. Of how much peppermint is produced each year. 4,000 tons. It's amazing, isn't it? Mm-hmm. And 70 to 90% of it, depending on which site you look at, anywhere from 75 to 90% of the production is here in the United States. Mm-hmm. That's used for oils. So, anyway. All right, so Linda, if you would email us your contact information, we will be more than happy to send you that. And Sherry says it's at least a 10-hour drive to your place. Hard to do that in a day.
Not if you get up real early in the morning.
So, Linda, if you'll send us that information, I'll make sure that by this weekend that I'm able to send you out one of those samples.
You get here, you spend the night, we wake up the next day, we fix the tractor, we feed you. You show me how to do that. Go on away. We're closer than Deep South. Just saying.
All right. Well, guys, I really appreciate everybody showing up for the class. I was really happy to see all these new faces in here. It's really exciting to have all of these new, people that are interested in learning. Little Creek, we were doing a giveaway. I don't know. I guess she has issues with her internet, but we do a giveaway when we can. Of the essential oil that we're covering, and we were asking a question. Lisa, is that Lisa? I'm interested. Is that Lisa Booker? That Lisa B?
I don't know. Ask Lisa B. Are you Lisa Booker?
I don't know if it is. I'm interested because I haven't seen her in a million years. Anyway, okay. So everybody, come back Saturday for our live stream. It's bound to be a hoot. And next week,
dun dun dun,
be looking on our Facebook group. If you're not a part of that group, ask to be part of it.
John Jones. I wonder if he's green.
You can get on our Facebook page. It is Essential Oils with Mama Bear. No, it's not. Okay. Also, you can look at our Instagram page. I will probably post something this week or the beginning of next week to kind of give you a hint as to what we're doing next week.
And look, I'm going to go ahead and throw this out here because a bunch of people are leaving. There's only like 47. Tall, green, and bald, and don't like fire. Nice. Usually when Mama puts something out on the Instagram or in the Facebook group, that's where she's going to pull her trivia question from for the free sample.
Yes.
So,
yeah.
Just throw that out there.
It's at 5.
But of course, John Jones should have been able to know the answer before we got there. Just saying.
All right, well, y'all, thanks for hanging out. Turd, had to get that in somewhere. Thanks for hanging out with us, and like Jason always says,
like, subscribe.
Like, share, scribe.
Like, share, scribe.
That's what we need to start saying. Like, share, scribe. Y'all have a good evening.
Remember, be kind to one another. Don't let this season of love and empathy end because you had to go back to work because the holiday season was over.
That's right.
Keep it going. Let it take over and become a revival in this country. Empathy, love, and understanding.
Yes.
Repurpose, reuse, recycle. Give our wildlife a chance. Encourage your local towns to revive their downtowns instead of cutting down the forests to put up a little strip mall that'll be vacant in 6 to 10 years. Thank you guys for coming. We appreciate it. Remember, I don't remember what
You're
I was
in
going
a
to say.
loop.
I was in a...
Remember our live stream on Saturday.
Saturday. That's what it was. Woo!
Y'all have a and recycle that scrap pile. There you go. Yep. That's it. All right, y'all have a good night. It was nice spending time with y'all. Are you gonna click the button?
No, because there's. Thanks for coming. God bless.
And like always,
we will see you Saturday. Bye,
good night,
everybody.
y'all.